So here we go then for the formation lap here of the Italian Grand Prix. Dres lighting up those rear tyres as he makes his way now down towards turn one for the very first time. Interestingly for Dres though, Curly is in third place, so Johan in the Ferrari is separating the two of them at the moment. Gabri in third place. He starts, well, in third place in the championship. He starts this race in sixth place. We've got Table Clan, who is in fourth in its title. Now is in fifth place in qualifying. And obviously Table Clan, 28 points behind the leader. Johan, 45 points up behind the leader. It's going to be tough for them both to get back into this, get their claws into this one. As Dres goes onto the grass there. That's not going to help him too much with warming up those tyres. As we lap this 5.7 kilometre circuit. 27 laps here, which should take us through around about 153. In fact, it's been more than that, about 158 kilometres around this legendary Monza circuit. Lap record in real life, 121.046, set by Rubens Barrichello back in 2004 in that legendary F2004 V10 as well. What a racket that was. And the first Italian Grand Prix all the way back in 1950. Mon design as we know it, we've fallen in love with, especially with that chicane, that bus stop S chicane we saw at Spa back in the early 90s and late 90s, in the late 80s here, and the Rettifilia chicane, that very tight right and left, has replaced that. But Dres then makes his way towards the grid, which means then we are moments away here from the Italian Grand Prix here at the Hype Energy AOR F3 League. And it is a Mercedes on pole, a Ferrari in second. How many times have we said that in the 2018 season in Formula 1? However, Dres on pole position, Johan in second, Curly in third, wanting to try and close that gap to Dres even more at the top of the table. But all the cars are lined up on the grid now, so all we're waiting for now is the race to start. Waiting on those 5 red lights now, and here we are for the Italian Grand Prix. It's 5 red lights. Round 8 is underway, and what are the starts like? Looks like it's a good start from Johan. Then as they make their way down towards turn 1 here, Dres is going to find himself exposed as we head down towards turn 1. Watch out for that Haas of Table, looking to try and make a move. It's a very, very tight corner into turn 1 for the very first time. I'll be surprised if there's no debris going through. As we've got, oh, that's Table then, trying to get a move on. But Johan here, as going through the Curva Grande, he's got the position, he's got the lead. And the Tifosi go mad on this first lap. Dres wanting to have a move down the inside, in towards the Roger chicane. Johan locks up a little bit, but parks it on the apex. And there's nothing Dres can do. Table, meanwhile, gets up to third place. And Curly is under pressure now from Gabri, who wants to go round the outside at the first Lesmo. Loses the back end, though. Puts the foot on the anchors to try and settle the car. And Louis, meanwhile, is now running side by side with Gabri then as we head through the Curva del Seraglio. And he's now side by side with Alex 20 as they now make their way towards Ascari. Surely it's not going to be 3 wide. It's not going to be 3 wide, but that is the Sauber trying to go up the inside there. And Louis goes into the back of him very slightly. Super Mario comes out of nowhere to try and grab the inside line. And Alex 20 off the track then onto the gravel, completely caught off guard there, and goes onto the gravel. Meanwhile, Poe now going around the outside of Louis onto the entry into Parabolica, and has got the move done then. So that is Louis then up to 7th place. But look at Pasti here using the slipstream of Poe, and Louis says, you're not having that slipstream, it's mine. They're heading now down towards turn 1. Johan in the lead there, Dres in second, Table in third. But have a look at this battle here. Poe leading them down towards turn 1, and there's a little bit of contact there from Louis on the back of Poe then. And Pasti there locks wheels with Louis, and they're both off. They've both lost a load of positions then as they lock tyres. And the cars just simply don't want to go anywhere. They've both lost a huge amount of ground then in this one. And Louis now all the way down to 14th place. He's lost all that time. And Pasti now is in 10th place. Elite Game Boy looking for an inside move in towards turn 14. Couldn't quite make it. Meanwhile then, Vanquish now past Pasti. So Vanquish into the points as we head now through the first Lesmo. Back at the front then, it is Johan who leads from Dres, Table, Curly, Gabri, Poe, Alex Musica, Super Barrio, Alex 20, Vanquish, Slimbo, Pasti, Elite Game Boy, Louis, Raikkonen and Huerta, who did not actually join back. so he will go down as a DNS in his records for the Italian Grand Prix. Elite Game Boy looking to put the pressure on Pasti then, and if we have a look at the position changes at the start, well, Vanquish is up 6 places, a good start from him then, but an even better start for Alex Musica, up 7 places, and having to depend from Super Mario, who lost 4 positions from the start. Louis in 14th place, lost 7 positions off the start then. So it's been a mixed bag of results then. DRS now online, as Curly looks towards turn 1. See if he can have a move up the inside. He thought about it. Meanwhile, Super Mario is definitely going to have a think about the inside in towards the Rettifilio chicane. Up the inside of Alex Musica. Couldn't quite do it. And Alex Musica here looks like he's on the medium tyres, which he is. And so he's going to try and make those last as long as possible. Possibly could be a medium to soft stint. As we see Pasti and Louis into the pits. Probably they've got damage to their cars. Raikkonen pitted in early as well. As Super Mario now putting pressure on Alex Musica once again as we head now in towards the first Lesmo. There you can see the tyres that everybody is on now. Slimbo, meanwhile, looking to put more pressure on Vanquish then. Slimbo hasn't had a great start to the Italian Grand Prix, but he'll just be looking to build on it now. In towards the slipstream we go, into the DRS zone. Will he try and have a move on the Renault in front of him? Vanquish managed to just about get some points, but Slimbo actually backs off. Slimbo just thinking maybe that Ascari's actually not a great place to make the move, and he'd rather do it down the start-finish straight. It's smart driving, but if he got Ascari wrong there, then he would have been absolutely kicking himself. Raikkonen makes a move on Pasti then, in towards the first Lesmo. So then Raikkonen is past Pasti, and Tableclan now sets the fastest lap of the race. Super Mario here, looking to try and make a move on Alex Musica ahead of him. Into the DRS zone we go. And also Alex 20 is behind him as well. He's in an Alex sandwich as Super Mario makes a move then coming down towards the Rettifilio chicane. Look in the background as well. Slimbo making a move on the Renault. And that looks like Super Mario move done there. Vanquish wants to take his racing line into turn 1. But they don't touch. Slimbo makes the position up. And now he's up to 10th place in the Haas. Meanwhile, Alex Musica using this slipstream through the Curva Grande. It's such a powerful slipstream here. As we head now down towards turns 4 and 5, Super Mario just about holds on. And even without DRS through the Curva Grande, you can see how much the cars are actually closing up. It's incredible how low these cars are. They can really take advantage of the slipstream ahead of them. Oh, Alex Musica getting a little sideways through the second Lesmo. Alex 20 sees this as a perfect opportunity to try and find a way past. Alex Musica leaves the room on the outside onto the entrance of Ascari then. The Sauber has to go the long way round through turn 8 here. Locks up a little bit, and Alex Musica simply just shuts the door through turn 9 and is able to hold on to that position. Vanquish, meanwhile, still looking to try and find that way back past Slimbo. They've been swapping positions for the last couple of laps. It looks like Slimbo at the moment is looking to just try and keep that position and try and get away from the Renault behind him. The Renault actually overcommits into Parabolica, runs a little bit wide, and that might cost him a little bit of time to Elite Game Boy behind him. Let's just jump on board with the leaders right now because they're very close together. Johan is really not getting away from that Mercedes as much as he'd like here. There's Alex 20. As he looks to try and find that way past Alex 20 once again. Or Alex Musica looking to find a way past Alex 20. As Elite Game Boy now looking at the back of Vanquish. As he now makes his way through the Curva Grande. No DNF so far, just a DNS. That was Huerta, who did not make the starting grid as he disconnected from the lobby. Such a shame for him. Louis then in the slipstream. With the DRS open, Pasti has the DRS as well. Is he looking for a move on Raikkonen? He'll go to the inside. Maybe Louis here is going to try and make it 3 wide. He is. Down the inside he goes into turn 1. Locks up. Has to take the escape road there. And it looks like he'll drop in behind them. And he will. That's what the yellow flag is for. So Louis there tried to be the last of the late breakers. Unfortunately, he outbraked himself. And just sort of went straight on at turn 1. And what that means is that Raikkonen actually moves up a position. Because Louis was ahead of him. So Pasti making up a position then. He's now up to 13th as he looks to try and get this recovery drive in front of the Tifosi. Lap 6 of the Italian Grand Prix then. And it is Johan in the lead. Drez in second. And I wonder what sort of drive is he going for. Is he going to go for the win? Does he know that if as long as it keeps Curly behind him, he's in with a chance? Johan here at the moment is 45 points behind the championship leader. His aim is to try and keep it under 50 points by the end of this race, which at the moment he's going to do. The gap between them would be 38 points as it stands. which of course would allow him to keep battling towards the Japanese Grand Prix. But then he'll have to score at least 19 points, so he would have to win the race and Dres not score any points in order for Johan to be able to get to the final race still in the championship fight. So it's going to be tough for him, as you saw their table getting it almost wrong out of the second Lesmo. We've already seen it claim one car today in qualifying. Elite Game Boy then right on the back of Vanquish as we head through the second Lesmo. Meanwhile, Raikkonen and Pasti battling through the Rettifilio chicane. And there's also a move here. Alex 20 up the inside of Super Mario in towards Ascari. And Alex 20 up in position then. He's up to 7th place in that Sauber. And meanwhile, Pasti and Raikkonen still battling away then as we head towards the Rogers chicane. Pasti looking to try and impress the fans here as the Red Bull gets slightly onto the gravel then. Raikkonen now under pressure from Louis behind him. Louis would have sensed that mistake and thought, this is my time, as we head now through the second Lesmo. Riding on board with him now, Raikkonen picks up, I believe, that's the first 3-second time penalty of the race, and we're only 7 laps in. 21 laps to go then, as we head now down underneath that old oval circuit, as the battle for 13th place rages on. Elite Game Boy is past Vanquish then, as they're still battling now through the Rettifilio chicane. I thought he was past, but no, he wasn't. Vanquish managing to hold on then to that position, as he looks now through the Curva Grande. Elite Game Boy, remember, on soft tyres, so Vanquish here might be struggling for pace, or either that or Elite Game Boys found a massive route of pace then on those soft tyres. But the only tyres he could really go from there, Elite Game Boy, are the medium tyres. He wouldn't really be able to run super softs. He wouldn't get him to the end. He wouldn't be able to run them long enough. Alex Musica now picking himself up a 3-second time penalty. Super Mario, meanwhile, still right on the back of Alex 20 as we make our way towards Ascari. And Raikkonen gets a 5-second stop-go penalty for cutting the corner. And that would have been at the first Rettifilio chicane. Elite Game Boy gets away past Vanquish. I'm literally missing every single battle that's going out on track. Louis now making his way through the Rogers chicane. On the back of Pasti then, as they make their way now towards the Lesmos. Slimbo here might have a look at Alex Musica. He'll have some DRS. Meanwhile, Dres has dropped back from Johan. 1.5 is now the gap. They were in the DRS zone a couple of laps ago. And Louis is out of the race then. Louis out of the race at the Italian Grand Prix. And look at that battle behind us as well. Slimbo making a move up the inside of Alex Musica. Elite Game Boy, meanwhile, locking up into turn 1. And Vanquish has to go now round the outside and will be able to keep that position as Slimbo there makes a move on Alex Musica. But have a look at Alex Musica through the Curva Grande. You'll be able to see how much speed he actually picks up through the slipstream as we head now down towards turn 4 into the Rogers chicane. Alex Musica has an inside line here. And look at that then. That is Slimbo backing out of that move. Meanwhile, Table Clan here is under pressure from Curly behind him. Towards Ascari they go. Johan gets himself a 3-second time penalty. That could be crucial in this battle for the lead towards the end of the race. Yellow flags in Sector 2 and Vanquish is out of the race. Raikkonen off as Pasti's off as well. Raikkonen gets the 5-second stop go for a severe collision with Pasti then. And they're not even at the incident zone at the moment. Heading towards the Rogers chicane. So where has Vanquish got that wrong? Johan into the pits then. Raikkonen tapping the back of Pasti. Then they both go straight on at the Rogers chicane. They've both got front wing damage. As we now make our way through the first Lesmo. I'm just trying to see where Vanquish has gone off. And there's yellow flags coming towards the second Lesmo. And there he is, yeah, into the right-hand side wall. So he's lost it at the second Lesmo. Off the stream then, Curly has made a move on Table. In towards the Rettifilio chicane, but Table might have a look back here. This is now a battle for second place. The Haas looks up the inside, but decides against making a move and stays behind. So Curly now can try and build a gap. He's now back up to second place. Did start from third in this race, dropped back to fourth on the very start. Now up to second place, but of course, Johan has just been into the pits. Now he's rejoined in 9th place. He's on a set of medium tyres. That will get him to the end of the race. Yellow flags in Sector 3. Not sure who that is. Oh, it's Raikkonen who's around at the exit of Parabolica, as he's lost his entire front wing now and will have to go the entire lap with no front wing. Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to be amazing down the straights, but through the corners he's going to really struggle. Alex Musica then Oh, that car really unsettled on the exit of Ascari. Managed to gather it back up, though. And still trying to close the gap on Slimbo, which he's doing. So even though that car was very unstable on the exit, he still managed to close up that gap. Table is into the pit lane then. So that means everyone will fly past him. Of course, you're doing what's Alex Musica doing here? 343 kph at the moment, which went up to 345 just before we hit the brakes there. And you're doing 60 kph in the pit lane. It's painful to hear all those cars going straight past you. However, everybody's got to do it at some point in this race. Alex Musica still on the back of Slimbo then as we head our way towards turns 4 and 5. And he backs out of this one. Yellow flags in Sect 2 now. And, not sure who that is, but whoever it is, the yellow flags are gone now. And we're back under green flag across the whole track. Slimbo is feeling the pressure from Alex Musica right now. Again, Alex Musica might just go onto the soft tyres at some point in this race. He might do half the race, maybe a lap more. Yellow flag sector 3. As Alex Musica swoops up the inside, but gets onto the gravel and gets it all wrong. Out of Ascari, and he goes off. Into the wall he goes. Raikkonen out of the race as well. And Alex Musica over-committing there in towards the first part of Ascari. And it looks like there he's retired from the session, has he? I wonder. Well, he's dropping all the way down the field at the moment. But that is virtual safety car then deployed. And Alex Musica has left the session. So a virtual safety car, which is fantastic news for Drez. Where will he rejoin then? There's Johan coming down the straight. He has to stick to that delta, of course. And where is Drez going to rejoin then? Drez actually rejoins right ahead. Curly as well rejoins ahead of Johan. This is a disaster for Ferrari. That's the last thing they wanted, that virtual safety car. Keep an eye on that top left-hand corner, as it will say when we're back under green flag racing. But yeah, a disaster for Ferrari then. Luck of the draw. How is your luck? As Alex Musica then getting front wing damage in that instant, but he has left the session. DRS now enabled, which means we're back under green flag racing. Poe now has a chance to try and get past Johan. There's Johan here looking to try and warm those tyres up once again. Of course, once you lose heat in those medium tyres, it's very difficult to try and get them back up to that level. And the virtual safety car does not help that whatsoever. And meanwhile then, Drez and Curly have rejoined on soft tyres. So will they be able to make them last to the end of the race? We shall wait and see. Meanwhile then, in the Italian Grand Prix, it is Elite Game Boy who leads. Alex 20 and Gabri battling away, and Gabri's into the wall. That's at turn 10. Losing all of his front wing there. Now I wonder what happened there. Did Gabri just lose it on his own? Well, whatever's happened, he's lost a huge chunk of his front wing and decides to retire on his own accord. So Gabri is out of the Italian Grand Prix. Poe here now going down the inside of Johan in towards the Rettifilio chicane. Johan having to go right up the inside. Poe goes around the outside and makes the move stick then. Meanwhile behind them, Super Mario gets past Slimbo as we head now towards the Rettifilio chicane. Bit of an easy move there for the Red Bull with that DRS. You've got Drez here trying to follow behind Elite Game Boy as we head now towards the Lesmos here. Johan, meanwhile, wants to try and get back at Poe. Super Mario and Slimbo still battling away into the Roger chicane. And can the Red Bull keep it on the track? Yes, he can. As we make our way towards the Lesmos, and Slimbo's not going to let that position go whatsoever. Drez, meanwhile, has a chance to try and take the race lead here. Into the slipstream of Elite Game Boy he goes. Remember, Elite Game Boy still yet to stop in this race. Heading now towards Parabolica. Elite Game Boy goes back to the racing line. Into the braking zone. Locks up a little bit. Understeers through the entrance of Parabolica. And this could be an easy move for Drez then. In towards the slipstream we go. They'll have some DRS too. As Super Mario has now retired from the session. We're watching the battle then between the leaders. Drez makes his move into the lead. He goes. and takes it away from Elite Game Boy. Now Curly is behind, and Elite Game Boy cuts the first chicane and gets himself a 3-second time penalty. I wouldn't be surprised if he just lets his teammate go without an issue. And yes, he does through the Curva Grande. Curly gets through. Poe, meanwhile, trying to get away from Johan. 8/10 is the gap, but Table there is as well in 6th place. It would be a net 5th place, of course, once Elite Game Boys visited the pit lane. But lap 13 of this Grand Prix. As you can see here, Drez leads from Curly in 2nd. Elite Game Boy is in 3rd place. Poe in 4th, Johan 5th, Table 6th, Alex 27th, Limbo in 8th, Alex Music in 9th, and then Pasty is in 10th place at the moment. And I bet he's glad that he's still in this race right now, because at the moment he's scoring valuable points for his team. He may not feel like it at the time, but it is one more point than what he would have got if he just straight retired from where that position was. Table, meanwhile, in the slipstream. We've got Poe up ahead as well on Elite Game Boy, so watch out for these two battles. Johan here, the pole sitter, maybe under threat from Table Clan behind him. Let's have a look at Poe then on board. Elite Game Boy is his target as he moves to the right hand side, making his way now down towards turn 1 as Poe gets the move done. How about behind them? Table looking up the inside at Johan, then in towards the braking zone we go, into the Retafilio chicane, and Table gets the move done. He now moves up to 5th place, and Johan, of course, who started this race on pole position, now finds himself in 6th place. It's a disaster for the Ferraris. I'll have a faint hope of optimism at some sort of safety car to bring them back into this race, but Johan now picks himself up his 2nd 3-second time penalty of the evening as we make our way now with the 2nd Lesmo on board with Elite Game Boy. It still has DRS on Poe, so that will help him. And it looks like here Johan is far from done with this battle with Table, but he's on some medium tyres, which is not going to help. That virtual safety car has really, really hurt Johan as we head now in towards Ascari through turn 9, then through turn 10. As you can see there, great shot there of all the cars flying through Ascari, as challenging as it is. Johan here looks to be putting the pressure on Table as we make our way through turn 11 now. Drez sets the fastest lap of the race, 122.5 from Drez then in the Mercedes. On board with Johan. Can he try and close in on Table? He's got the DRS open. Table has the DRS open as well as we make our way down towards turn 1. Alex Swinton with the fastest lap, 122.3. Table going in towards turn 1. And not trying to move this time around, but look at this now, out of the exit of turn 2, on towards the Curva Grande. We've already seen how powerful the slipstream is through especially this part of the circuit. Table now wanted to go the long way around, which will give him the inside line for turn 4 and the entrance into the Rogers chicane. Into the braking zone we go, and the Haas then gets the position, moves up to 4th place. Nice move from Table, and he's now up to 4th place. Now he can try and focus on Poe ahead of him, who's currently on the podium. And Poe, so far this season, currently in 3rd place in the Toro Rosso. And, well, it's been a mixed season for Poe. He's had a lot of DNFs, and I mean a lot of them. 4 out of 8 races he has not finished. But last time out in Belgium, he got himself a podium. He got himself 2nd place. Can he make it back-to-back podiums and build on this momentum for next season, I wonder? On board with Johan. And this is a crucial race. If he wants to try and stay in this championship battle, he's going to have to do a lot better than this. Elite Game Boy then running wide again on the entrance of Parabolica. Just maybe a sign of those tyres starting to go. And yes, they were. Elite Game Boy comes into the pits then. So lap 16 of the Italian Grand Prix. It is Drez who leads from Curly in 2nd. Poe then is in 3rd with Table in 4th. Johan 5th. Alex 20 in 6th. Elite Game Boy into the pits. He's in 7th. Limbo 8th. Alex Musica is a ghost car, so he actually won't count in the standings. Pasty's running around in 10th place and he's quickly catching Alex Musica's ghost. So once he does that, he'll be up to 9th place, and it has not been a great day at all for the Ferraris for 2 different reasons. For Pasty, he got caught up in first lap drama. For Johan, he got caught up in the virtual safety car where the other teams around him went for the soft tyres. He's gone for the mediums. Still quite a way to go though. We've still got 12 laps to go, 11 and a bit if you're picky, as Drez makes his way now towards Ascari and looking to try and make those soft tyres last to the end of the race. Now, if I'm thinking off the top of my head how many laps they've got to do, well, they pitted around about lap 11, let's say. Lap 10, lap 11. So they had to do 18 laps on those soft tyres, which is really much borderline, I would say. They can do it, but their pace would drop off towards the end of their stint then. Lap 17, 11 laps to go. Dres leads, Curly second, Poe in third. Alex 20, meanwhile, looking to try and close in on the car ahead of him. But, as you can see, he hasn't actually got the DRS. I thought he actually would have the DRS down the main straight, but unfortunately not for him. And Alex 20 making his way through the Rettifilio chicane. Johan here on medium tyres. Now I wonder if he just wasn't comfortable with the soft tyres in any of his practice runs. The wear on them, the pace on them, whatever it was. He definitely wasn't happy because he's gone out on some medium tyres and tried an undercut maybe. But Alex 20 now just teetering on that DRS range. It's dipped under a second on a couple of occasions in these mini sectors. There you can see 0.999. And Alex 20 here will actually have the DRS heading down towards Ascari. Dres there picks up a 3-second time penalty. That could be crucial as we head towards the end of this race. Dres leading this race, leading the championship. Curly second in this race, second in the championship. As it stands then, obviously Dres will be scoring 25 points. Curly will be scoring 18, which is a points difference of, as we all know by now, 7 points. Which means the gap between them will be 15 points if it stays like this. Heading into the last 2 rounds, it's nice and close between the two of them. And here's an interesting fact for you, that I'll probably jinx it now, and I'll probably give him the commentator's curse, but Curly has actually finished all the races he started this season, and adding to that, he's finished all of them in the points. 4 races this season, he's finished on the podium. His other finishes 5th, 9th and 10th. So it's been pretty consistent for Curly. Even when he hasn't had the greatest race in the world, he's still come home with points. Compare that to Dres's 2 retirements this season, one at Austria and last time out at Belgium. It's showing that he can stay in the championship fight even with a 9th and 10th place finish. It wasn't the end of the world. Meanwhile then, Alex 20, who currently lies 10th in the championship, got a 3rd place there, it looks like, at the British Grand Prix. And then hasn't finished his last 2 races we covered in qualifying, so he'll just want to be getting to that checkered flag and scoring some good points for himself and for Sauber as well. As we head now up towards Parabolica for the 17th time for Alex 20, 18th time even for Alex 20. So Dres, lap number 19 of the Italian Grand Prix. And we do have 8 laps to go here in Monza at this legendary track, prioritising high speed and low downforce. And then you throw in corners like Parabolica, the Lesmos, Ascari and the Curva Grande, and it's a recipe to actually be a very demanding circuit for these drivers. They've got to try and find that right balance between speed on the straight and then the speed through the corners. They prioritise too much on the straights, they'll start to find they understeer and actually take less speed through the corners. Too much aero, and well, all that straight line speed they have down towards the Rettifilio chicane, well, that all disappears. Alex 20 still looking to put pressure on the lead Ferrari at the moment in the race. Alex 20 right in the slipstream now, and in the DRS zone, moves to the right hand side. And look at this now with the DRS on the way to Ascari, and I don't think Johan is going to battle too much for that position. Alex 20 now up to 5th place. His next target now is table up ahead. Will Johan, I think that's that. Will he try and battle even more? We're now heading around Parabolica. And we have 8 laps to go then. Dres leads. From Curly in 2nd, it is Poe in 3rd, and he's actually catching Curly towards the end of this race. Let's ride on board with Johan as he closes in on Alex 20. Is there a move up the inside coming? No, there is not. So Johan stays behind, and waits for maybe another opportunity on the line. Jerez here, 4.3 seconds ahead of Curly at the moment. It's not been a bad race for Jerez, that's for sure. Didn't get the greatest start in the world. Johan overtook him on the very first lap. There's Curly then, who dropped to 4th, having started 3rd. Now he's back up to 2nd. But Poe here, 3rd place at the moment. He's having a good race so far. Coming off the back of 3 DNFs in a row. The last finish he had was in Austria, where he actually got 2nd place. He comes through Ascari now on those soft tyres. 9 laps old so far. They should make them to the end as Alex 20 then Johan get 3-second time penalties. This is probably where they're following so close behind. They actually accidentally take each other's line. Drez heading around towards the start finish line once again. Lap 21. And Poe is looking to just put that pressure on Curly. Just keep that gap there and say, you know what, I'm not going anywhere yet. Johan is starting to slightly fall back from Alex 20. He's still within DRS range before the detection point. And brings himself with the DRS back into that range. However, looks like Alex 20 has a good amount of pace to try and just keep going and get away, drive away from the Ferrari. Which is not going to be good for Johan whatsoever. Pole position now down to 6th place. It's a nightmare for the Ferrari. And at the moment, as it stands then, he's scoring 8 points to Drez's 25. Which means that's 18 points difference between the two of them. Now have a look at now. Well, he had to keep it under 50, Johan, to make himself in the title fight. Heading towards Japan, he'll be well over that. So this could be the end of the road for Johan here in season 17. But he's going out fighting, that's for sure. Poe is closing on Curly. 9/10 of a second right now. And, oh, Elite Game Boy is out of the race. Elite Game Boy out of the race. A virtual safety car's been deployed. That is a rare error there from Elite Game Boy. It's his 2nd retirement of the season. Normally so consistent in the points. But he's now out of the Italian Grand Prix. And does anyone take the bait of pitting? Does Johan take the bait of pitting? I wonder. No, he stays out. But the 2nd virtual safety car of the race then. Adres still in the lead. Curly in 2nd. Poe in 3rd. Table 4th. Alex 25th. Johan in 6th. Limbo 7th. Pasti then, once he passes that stricken McLaren car, will go up to 8th place. So there he goes up to 8th place. So the Ferraris now run 6th and 8th. Pasti just keeping his head down and trying to get to the end of this race. Have a look at Poe though. Trying to make the delta as good as possible. And Curly's got a drive through for speeding under the virtual safety car. Now that has really thrown a spanner into the works. And that is going to annoy Curly to no end. He'll drop all the way down to 6th place. That is not good when he wants to be hunting this championship down to the last race. Obviously kept that delta in the red and wasn't able to get it back in the green at the last moment. So he's got himself a drive-through. Now he'll have to serve that within 3 laps of getting it. So he can only cross that start-finish line twice before serving that drive-through penalty. But when will he do it? Will he try and now go full attack for the next 2 laps? And then pit in on the 3rd, or will he pit in straight away? We're about to find out then. Curly then comes in for his drive-through. So drive-through penalty being served by Curly then. And this is going to be painful for the McLaren driver. He was doing so well. And then speeding under that virtual safety car. May have just put a nail in that coffin. He'll be down to 6th place. Where is Slimbo on the track? He's coming towards Parabolica. So Curly should actually rejoin ahead of the Haas. But he's going to rejoin so far behind Alex 20 and Johan now. So where is the McLaren driver? Making his way now out back onto the track. And he served his penalty. And now, well, he hasn't got long left. And 11.2 is the gap between himself and Johan. It is going to be a painful couple of laps for Curly then. 5 laps to go. 11.2 seconds. That is a disaster for the McLaren team. Elite Game Boy retired, causing the virtual safety car. Then Curly caught speeding under the virtual safety car. Double whammy hit there for McLaren. And they will be not too pleased with that whatsoever. Dres making his way now towards Parabolica for the 23rd time. Poe is in the distance there. Second place right now. Johan still actually keeping behind Alex 20 at the moment. And this is where the sort of threshold, the crossover happens, where the soft tyres actually don't perform as well as the mediums anymore. Johan will get a more consistent performance out of these tyres now towards the end of the race, whilst the soft tyres will start now to fall away. 4 laps to go here in Monza. And Johan in 5th, looking to try and close in on Alex 20. So at the moment then, Dres is scoring 25 points. And Curly is scoring 8. So that's a points difference of 18. 18 points. That is not what either of them would have expected at this point, which means their points will go up to 26, the gap between them, with 2 races to go. And that is not what Curly wanted at all, which means he really has to finish ahead of Dres at the next race. But we still have 3.5 laps to go. Let's not count our chickens before they've hatched. Dres then making his way through Ascari, running a little wide on the exit actually. Poe there in 2nd, also running wide on the exit as well. Let's see how many of them actually do run wide. No, Table keeps it away from the curb. Alex 20 just about keeping it to the left-hand side of the white line, but just about is good enough. Johan here, 1.3 now behind Alex 20. Starting to fall behind just ever so slightly. And I know someone will eventually correct me on my maths. But yeah, Curly scoring 8 points, Dres 25. And that means the points gap between them is, yes, 18 points. Yeah, I am right. I shouldn't doubt myself so much. Yeah, so that means the points gap at the moment will go up to 26 points. And Gabri could have had a chance to actually get 2nd place in the championship with a good result today. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to do that. Table, though, is in 3rd place. He's on 59 points. He won't be able to overtake in this position, I don't think. Well, 12 points to 8. Yeah, that won't happen. So Table will probably stay 4th place in the championship. But like I say, we shouldn't be counting our chickens before they've hatched. We'll focus on the race in hand, and we'll focus on the points afterwards. At the moment then, it's Dres leading the way towards Parabolica for the 25th time. And the field is reasonably spread out now. You can see Curly has been trying to do the best job he can. 10.8 is the gap between himself and Johan, but that drive-through has really taken the wind out of his sails. Dres then will start the penultimate lap of the race in the lead. Alex 20 and Johan are the closest 2 cars battling each other at the moment. 1.6 is the gap between them, followed very closely by Table and Alex 20. 1.8 the gap between those 2. Dres making his way now through the Curva Grande. Pole position. And yeah, well, Johan actually, I've been saying he's been on pole position the entire time. He hasn't. It was 2nd place, I remember now. Short-term memory is not great for me. But yes, Johan picked to the line, 2nd place. That was a bit of a disappointment for him. However, you know, on these medium tyres, you know, with Elite's retirement, you know, and cars ahead of him retiring as well, he's got up to 5th place. With Curly's drive-through as well, he's up to 5th place. So, actually, when you come to think of it, it's not actually been too much of a disaster for Johan. It would be a recovery drive to some extent, but I wonder who will be taking the fall for that strategy choice. Will the team take it? Will Johan take it? Because those medium tyres, of course, they'll have made it to the end very easily. However, they just didn't have the pace. Dresden, meanwhile, pole position for the Italian Grand Prix. Now starts the final lap of the race in the lead in the number 23 Mercedes, making his way now down towards the Rettifilio chicane. Alex 20, meanwhile, really trying to make a late charge against Table ahead of him. 1.4 is the gap. Of course, this could all change on the fly once we've seen the results and seen the penalties and seen them applied as well. Dres making his way towards the Roggia chicane. And now heading through that turn 4 and 5 section. On towards the Lesmos for the final time. And it's a nice, well-balanced, controlled car. You can see now, ERS mode 0. Dres knows he doesn't have to push to the finish line. On towards the Curva del Seraglio. And now uses all of his ERS. Now, down towards Ascari. Turns it all the way off again, heading through Ascari. And he knows now there's no need to push. There's no need to make any mistakes now. You can see ERS deployed, all on the straights. Never through the corners for the Mercedes. As he makes his way now towards Parabolica for the final time then. Dres comes around the final corner. And he'll go and take the checkered flag. It'll be his third race win of the season. Dres wins the Italian Grand Prix. And Poe will come across the line. He grabs second place here in Monza. Table in third. And Alex 20 will jump him. So Alex 20 comes back with a third place finish. Table fourth. Johan in fifth. Curly here with that late drive-through penalty will come across the line. He finishes in sixth place. Slimbo then in the Haas. Seventh place for him. And looking at his results so far this season, he's had a fourth place. But for him, Slimbo now coming towards the line in seventh place, weaving across the line. Looks like he liked that one. And finally, the Ferrari of Pasti then. So in front of the Tifosi, fifth and eighth place for Johan and Pasti. However, if you told Pasti early on in this race that he would get 8th place, I'm sure he would have taken that instantly. But he's kept a level head, kept out of trouble after the first couple of laps, and is now going to take himself towards the checkered flag to grab 4 points for himself and for Ferrari. But your winner of the Italian Grand Prix in the Mercedes, his third race win of the season, Dres wins in Monza. Well, there they are then, out onto the podium. Dres extends his lead in the championship by quite some margin. The gap between himself and Curly now 26 points. Well then, we'll find out now the official, unofficial results here at Monza and the Italian Grand Prix. Dres takes his third race win of the season. Poe comes back from 3 consecutive non-finishes to now finish second on the podium. Alex 20 gets his third place of the season. Table Clan then, with a win last time out in Belgium, finishes off the podium this time around. Johan in 5th for this one. Curly 6th. Slimbo then in 7th, with Pasti 8th. Alex Musica obviously was a ghost car, so he doesn't actually gain any points from that. Retirements: Elite Game Boy, Super Mario, Gabri, Raikkonen, Vanquish, Louis. They all didn't retire. They all did retire, I should say. And Huerta did not make the start of this race. He will go down as a DNS. But, well, from lights to the flag, Dres looked pretty much in control. Couple of laps at the beginning there where Johan took the lead of the race, but Poe from 11th place then up to 2nd. What an incredible drive from Poe then. And as I said, he ends a run of 3 non-finishes to finish 2nd place in the Italian Grand Prix. Well, the gap now between Dres and Curly extends to 26 points. It is going to be a tough ask for Curly to come back here with 2 races to go. All Dres has to do is finish ahead of Curly, and that could be it. That could be the title decided. So it could be a championship decider when we head to Suzuka. Obviously, we're not racing on the 9th of June. We have a break week, but we will be back the week after, which I believe is the 16th of June. So very much look forward to that one. If I just check my calendar, we do indeed race on the 16th of June. As always, 8 PM BST, we will be live for the Japanese Grand Prix. Make sure you follow AOR on Twitter. It's at Apex on Racing, and make sure you do subscribe to the channel just below. You can also follow me on Twitter if you like. It's at KSMCGF1. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's stream. I've been Kieran McGinley. You've been watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.